real estate was my calling.
Right.
So they gave me the opportunity, and he started out by giving me like 1,000 dead lead that goes back to 5 years, like from Zillow, like, just people that hung up on him, lost touch, it's just, just leads that he has. And he's like, you know what, just take them, do something with it. So I made 100 calls a day, and every day I called that list. And I managed to convert about 3 of those, set up appointments, and to this day, I'm still working with a couple of them. What I understood about real estate is just because you call somebody and they tell you they're not ready now and they don't want to buy, it doesn't mean you never talk to them again. It just means they're not ready now.
That's right.
But if you call them every 2 to 3 weeks, you send them properties and you talk about buying a house, then slowly that thought will get into their head, even if they're not thinking about it.
You're right.
And then, it takes sometimes 6 months. Sometimes I put somebody under contract in 2 hours because they were just ready. I went, showed them a house, and then I was like, you know what? I have a better option for you 15 minutes down the road. We went to a new build, and then this dude he was like, yeah, let's go fill out the application. I want to sign a contract. I was like, slow down. I was like, great, slow down. Or I have like somebody I've been working with since my first day in real estate, and I'm still working with them. And it's probably going to take another year. But you need to be there for people through every step until you get to the closing table. And even afterwards, like if there's a freeze, just tell them, hey, cover your pipes. If it's like there's a hailstorm, call all your clients that closed afterwards and be like, hey, do you need a roofer? Like you want to be more than just a realtor that gets their commission and give them the gift card and the thank you letter and,
Spears.
Take the picture, post it on Instagram, and then on to the next. It's always about the next one, but also you got to keep that connection.
Right.
Because I'm in the business to helping people and making money.
It's like an interesting perspective because on one hand, it's like you've got to have the fortitude to make those 100 dials a day.
Yeah.
Right. But then
tough.
But then the perspective to be like, well, actually, I'm really trying to help these people like get into homes and get them to be like successful homeowners long term.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's sometimes like where I go with people and I just tell them, I'm like, I don't think you should buy right now. I'm like, I don't think it's the right time for you. And I've never pressured anybody to go through on a contract like during the option period. I just had a client where she just was not feeling, like it's time. And I was like, look, we've done a lot of work. I'm here to support you. Whatever you decide, I'm going to be with you. Like, it just doesn't matter because I'm like, I don't want you to buy this house. And then 3 months later, like, why did I do this? And it's because I gave you a little nice 30-minute speech. No. It's like, I'm going to do my job, give you the numbers, do everything the best that I can. And if that's still not enough, then I don't think it's time. So, like, I always like to be with people through every step. I want to be more than a realtor. I want to be the guy they go to for anything, like outside of real estate as well. And I want people to make money because the reason I got into real estate is I read so many books and saw so many different documentaries and motivational speeches, and they all talked about the best way to build wealth in America is real estate. And when I got into real estate, I learned about all these, 1031 exchange, the capital gains, the cash out refi, building equity. You take out a cash out refi because it's debt, you don't pay taxes on it, and you could pay your kids college, and it is like, wow, I could literally help people my age. And that's kind of like the goal that I'm working towards is like my generation. They need to understand that, yeah, just because, the baby boomers took all the cash and made everything expensive for us, like there is ways where we could come in and get creative and build that same financial wealth that they did for themselves.
Right. Like you gotta work with the situation.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, you just graduated college. You got an offer letter. Okay, let's go. All right, let's go. I'm like, I could get you down payment assistance program. There's affordable housing program. There's USDA. There is new builds. There's all these different programs. And I really want to help like the younger generation get into homes.
Well, the other thing that's interesting about you is, I think a common thing that we hear from real estate agents is, oh, I want to work with luxury. I want to work with, the established people. it's like, yeah, because those are easy, right? They're like really easy. And
Yeah,
I'm
big
hearing
money.
that it's like, you're like, okay, I wanted to be in real estate. I'm not afraid of making 100 calls a day, and I want to work with the difficult buyers.
I love difficult buyers. Like the thing about difficult buyers, I don't think they're difficult. It's just think about it. Buying a house is one of the biggest investments most people make 99% out of the time.
Yeah.
As their first. So like if somebody worked 5-6 years to save up money and they've went through so much to finally be in a position to buy a home, and they're being picky and they're being very conservative on the prices and all that, like
Yep.
I am a person. I have emotions. There is things that hold me back. Like I am very difficult with certain things. Like when it comes to my food, I am very I am a very like picky person. So like I kind of like I like to understand people's needs, and I want to be that person like, "Hey, I dealt with your BS and I took everything you threw at me, but I still got you through the line."
Yeah.
But the thing is like our business is referral based. So if
Yep.
I just go do an easy job and people go and talk about, "Oh yeah, he just showed me 2 houses," and yeah, they talk about buying the home the whole time and they don't bring up the realtor once. I want to be the guy when they speak about in a family function, "Oh, my realtor did this for me. My realtor did this for me." It's like me and my realtor. It's not us. Because I want it to be us thing, not just you got into the home and you forget about me.
Okay, so you've done a lot already, and you were like very strategic about the way that you got into real estate. But with the benefit of hindsight, what do you think were like the most impactful things that mattered for you? Or maybe said another way, if you were going to go back and talk to 14-year-old self, like right after that conversation with your first real estate agent where you realized, I want to do this, like, what would you tell yourself is like the most important things to do?
Discipline. I think I was so busy trying to get to my goal that I was going 1,000 miles per hour, and I kind of lost a few principles that I followed that allowed me to be disciplined, which is like when I was in sports, I used to wake up every day at a certain time, get my workout in, do the same thing, and I stuck with that. But then over time, the more you do, the faster you move, sometimes you start to slip up like, "Oh, I make 100 calls every Tuesday. Let me just do it on Wednesday." And Wednesday comes, and then you get a bunch of emails, phone calls, and now you push it to Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and guess what? It's Tuesday now, and now you got to make 200 calls. And that is something that I experienced about like 4-6 months in. When I got into real estate, it's like the amount of discipline you need to be in this industry is so much. And I did not understand that. I thought I was disciplined, but this job showed me that there's so much more I need to work on because it's hard. Sometimes like you wake up every day at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m., and like the first thing you see is 4 or 5 mixed calls, 3 text messages. "I want to terminate. Amen. Why do they have a gas furnace and an electric, and I'm like, oh, immediately start texting, immediately start
Yep.
doing that. And then guess what? I forgot to eat my breakfast. I'm so busy now. I don't want to even work out.
Yeah.
I go to the office. I don't have nothing in my system. I'm making calls. I'm making texts. I'm doing emails. And then, oh, look, it's 2 p.m. and I haven't had nothing in my system. I haven't done nothing for myself. It's kind of like a robot. So, like, I needed to learn how to tell myself, like, hey, it's fine for me to take 30 minutes to myself without making a call or text and just focus on myself. Or, like, the opposite is like, oh, I do so much work in a week, so I want to take 2 days off and just, like, yeah, I just put 3 under contract, so I don't need to make that many calls today. And then next week, I'm like, why I don't have any under contract? Why I don't have any hot leads? Oh, it's because I didn't spend 2 days prospecting last week, and that really put me 10 steps back. It's like you constantly have to be, lead generating, on top of your shit, like making your calls, your emails. And if you do one thing wrong, it could just explode.
Yeah, buddy. It's on in the real estate industry right now. The sheep are getting separated from the wolves. If you are out there kicking ass, you are our kind of agent. Up before the competition, in bed after the competition, outworking the competition, grinding so your empire reigns supreme. Well, you sound like our kind of agent. We built Real Geeks from the ground up for agents who never let a client down and never let a lead escape. If you're looking for a multiplier on your efforts, we should talk.